Uh-huh.
How many are on your commission?
Oh,
At
gosh.
least on paper.
It was 9. I need to always look and I'm trying to figure out where we are.
Right?
Yes.
And you're the newest person on the commission. Is that
That's
correct?
right, yeah, it's my second meeting.
So about 9.
Those 3, 4, 5.
And you're
Dave,
Dave,
yeah.
right? Yeah. Do you know, I worked for Barb at J.A. Whitney when I was a student at Webster University like 20 years ago or more, probably.
No way.
25 years ago, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, yeah, she started the store, it was probably 1994, 1995. When did you work? Where did you-
2001.
Oh my
to
gosh.
2003.
At the Ladue store?
Yes, yeah, and you know, I see her weekly because I swim at the pool where
Oh,
she goes to
And
aerobics
you
and
did
I
water
just, I just saw her this week and I said, I met your husband. I didn't realize it, who he was at
That's,
first.
what a coincidence. That's, how long did you work there?
Couple years,
Yeah.
2 or 3 years, yeah.
Yeah, they were a great type bunch of people.
Yes.
Benita and so many.
Yeah, well, Barb told me that there's gonna be a 30th reunion
Oh,
being planned by the new owner.
good
And,
idea. That's great.
It's so cool because that was just like such a great group of women.
And you were in school at the time?
Yeah, yeah. And there was actually another student at Webster, who was working there at the same time. So it was like a cohort of us,
Now, what was your degree in Webster?
in art.
Well, yeah, so I figured that was what,
Yeah.
that you would work in a creative business.
Right,
At
yeah.
this
I
point,
did
no,
the gift
unless
painting,
sometimes,
actually. Yeah, so it was.
people
it was a
apply for
good-
like 10 different things.
good-
Yeah,
She said, so there
That's
might be, I need to go
very
through and check, but there's none
And
that are
Barb is
jumping
just so
out in
wonderful.
this
She's
moment.
just.
But
always
she's
been
gonna look
such
into it
a
and let me
hero
know.
of mine.
I think we have 7 right now.
Yeah,
So we need 4.
Yeah,
to
she's
get
a
going.
great
Yeah.
person.
I think
That was
Oh,
I
good.
haven't heard it. It was
Andrea's here.
John.
Did you know that
oh,
Barb?
and John, well, we have our forum.
We met at the Wall Street.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
My daughter was playing next door, decided to like hide.
Oh,
I was
Like-
Cyril.
Oh.
John.
Please.
Martin Peppermint. She came up with the idea for pretty long ago.
Lovely.
Did you have a good weekend?
And they nationally
Yeah,
introduced it in 1986.
Yeah.
And like
That's
today. Freedom One is like a $2 billion global
Oh,
brand. Barb
I
created
knew
it.
Pam was gonna be late, so.
Yeah.
I did see that.
And we seen that before.
I didn't know if Vera was
Then
gonna
we
be here at
left,
all.
and
or-
she's not able to make
Yeah.
it today.
Gotcha.
And then she started shaking.
right.
okay.
Well, I guess we could go ahead and, I've not heard from Karen, but. I guess we can go ahead and get started. She wanders in and I think this is gonna be a fairly short one, so.
Okay.
I will just call us to order here. Okay, and I apologize, I got the related February minutes to Sean pretty late today, so. I only had them for an hour or so, so. If anyone wants to take a look at those, we'll do both February and March minutes.
I think you said we get it too. I don't get to.
I did send them
February.
via email, but there's at least 2 copies on the table if anybody wants to. Might not have time to look at it. And then those are March.
Oh, we can actually.
No, I don't know.
Oh, I'll let y'all get look at those first a minute or two, and we'll wait and see if Karen arrives and not move on.
Hi. She did.
Here. We're just looking at minutes.
Instead of traffic. Yeah, there was today.
And I've got one edit from March.
This is the same what you sent out.
They are February and March.
What's the change in March?
Yes.
Okay, the change in March is item number 4, second paragraph, ICLEI. It's
Oh.
ICLEI.
Oh, thank you. ICLEI. My internet doesn't want to work today.
Small deal.
Oh,
I'll change that.
I'll make a note. And I can-
Thank you.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not here. Whenever anyone wants to make a motion. Minutes.
I'm for February. February.
There was a motion to pass it for 3 minutes.
Yes.
Okay,
Second,
I'll second.
Okay.
all right, everyone in favor?
Good.
Okay, on March, with the change John noted, do I hear a motion?
Yes.
Second,
Seconded.
all in favor?
Aye.
Let's see. Visitor comments.
Yeah,
Dave, you wanna?
I'll be really quick. Sure. Thanks for having me. Four things real quick. I know Webster on Wheels is on your agenda. I just want to say it's set for Sunday, May the 5th. We're rolling. Our next team meeting this Thursday. It will be as close to 100% sustainable event as we can get it. And on the Friday before, May the 3rd will be, we're keeping our fingers crossed, Webster Grove School District's first ever bike to school day, which would be nice. And May is National Bike Month, and biking is a sustainable activity, so it all kind of fits. So that's one. Our next event after that is on May 25th. And it'll be our second annual community dog walk. I mean, we have a lot of walkers and stuff. Yeah, it was great last year.
25th, you said of May?
Yeah, May 25th.
Okay.
We meet at the old gazebo park. We walk down Lockwood, we go into the Eden green space and do some easy agility tests with dogs. And then we walk around for maybe a mile and a half, come back to the old Orchard gazebo park, and where we serve free Starbucks coffee and free Starbucks cups, which are like whipped cream, come the dogs and stuff. And it's just a community thing, a dog owners love to talk to each other and see their dogs and stuff, so it's just a community thing. But my point being is that, you know, people view Webster and talk about Webster as a walkable community. And I'm not sure that we walk any more than anybody else, but I think that there's an opportunity, whether it comes from this commission or other groups in the city, for more walking events. And I know I have diabetes. My mom passed away from Alzheimer's. And every year there's a walk for diabetes, a walk for Alzheimer's, very big walk. And it pulls a lot of people. So I just think whether it's a fun thing or a cause, there's opportunities to organize walks. Organize walks to dinner, to green dining. You know, we talked about that a little bit. I just think we can do more to get people not driving their cars and out walking. Quickly, the sustainables is this kids club idea. It's really gonna be, it's gonna be a really cool idea, but there are a lot of moving parts and there's a lot of knowledge that we're still gathering. And people like Sean, we really haven't sat down and talked to you and picked your brain on it. And the role of the city, the role of the school district, but we thought we would start like a soft launch at Webster on Wheels. We aren't gonna do that because we don't want to rush into it. We want to do it right and get things ready to kick it off in the fall. But one of the things I learned from John, when I asked the question last meeting about after recycling, what's the second biggest activity, broad scale, that the community could embrace? the sustainability area and you said composting, and we're looking hard at composting because composting can be a very fun activity. And kids, and if we could get kids into composting as a way to start families, it could be kind of cool. So anyway, thanks for that. The last thing I wanted to share is that I don't know how I came upon it, but the United Nations published 17 global sustainable goals. And I know when I think about sustainability, I think about the environment and climate change and all the fossil fuels and stuff. But do you know what their number 1 and 2 goals were on their 17 goals? No poverty and 0 hunger. And I share that because Forbes magazine says that Webster Groves is number 36 on the list of the top 50 richest cities in Missouri. Missouri has 935 cities. We're number 36 in terms of wealth. And we're an affluent community by and large, okay? But yet, if you look at the census data, 4.8%, almost 5% of our population, which is 1,100 people, live at the poverty line or less. And I'm just saying, I'm a 24-year resident. I think that's a crime. I think that's a shame. There's no reason why in our community, anybody should be living in poverty. So I don't know if there's any connection with this commission or not, but when I saw those sustainable goals for the United Nations as the number 1 and 2, it's like, well, somebody must be thinking they have something to do with sustainability, a sustainable world, if you will. And maybe it's a broader definition of sustainability, but I just wanted to share that. So
Thank you.
that's it.
Thanks for the comments. All
No, and Paul's great. Paul Barr is great. So yeah, that's really fun working with you guys, and we look forward to what's on with us.
yeah, we'll work to it as well, John.
Can I ask the question? So Webster on Wheels is May 5th.
Then I make that, yes.
Do you need bodies to help? So what do those bodies do?
I would say talk to Paul because at the event, at least in the past years, the Sustainability Commission has had a tent and a table and passed out brochures and interacted with the public and answered questions. Before the ride, we have announcements, and Paul would give like a brief comments, to the big crowd before we go out on the ride. And this year, to answer your question, John, yes, because the group that since 2009 has handled our rest stop, which is in front of the high school, couldn't do it this year. And so the Sustainability Commission, Paul is going to take it over. So he will need some extra hands and bodies this year versus last year, particularly for the rest stop.
Which is just right in front of the high school.
Right in front of the high school. It's just a tent and a table and fresh fruit, Gatorade jugs of water. So there's no plastic, they just refill their water bottles. And Paul provided the orange slices, something else, grapes, but no packaged snacks, right?
And
So no package.
what's the time frame on it? When does it start?
Well, it runs 1:30 to 4:30, but the ride itself starts at 3. It goes to about 4. It's like a 6-mile ride.
So that's when the freshman stand is in operation.
Exactly, yeah, and it's, and the best thing is that I check the weather forecast every day, and today it's at 70 degrees and sunny, which is like better than 95 degrees and humidity last year, which is terrible. So it's like today is gonna be hopefully a very nice day.
Dave, do you know who has the tent? Does Paul have the tent?
Yeah, I think Paul has the tents, or we certainly have access to tents. I mean, I had a number of friends who have tents that we borrow, so if he needs tents, we can certainly get him tents. But they provided one last year. I know Jamie
Yeah,
and
Yeah, I just don't know who had that.
Yeah,
But
I
maybe
don't
it was Paul.
I think it was,
Okay.
he was there before me.
Yeah.
And if he's not able to join us today, I'll send him an email so I can make sure to get information out to everyone about volunteers. and-
Yeah, and we have a team meeting Thursday,
Okay.
so I'll see him Thursday.
Great.
That's what I'll talk.
Sounds great.
Yeah, so Sean, I would sit down with you. I need to pick your brain.
Yeah,
I'd
be happy
It could
to.
really be fun.
I'd be happy to.
Cool.
Thanks
Okay,
again for
all right,
joining us.
well,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for all the work.
Oh, it's fun. It's. Work with a lot of good people, so. thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank
Dave.
you.
I know, Councilmember Bliss is going to be late, so we'll just move that down. Sean, you wanna
Yeah,
give us any updates?
sure. Just a few things. The greenhouse gas inventory is in process. This past week, I entered, I combed through our bills for our Spire and MSD consumption, because those were two utilities that couldn't just provide me the data. They were like, for at least the government's, the government consumption, our, government buildings. They said, you're gonna have to look in your account or look at bills. So I was like, okay, so I went through that, and one kind of fun thing that happened that it was a little bit of a mystery, but there were four, so among the various buildings that we own and pay for natural gas, there were four different, they weren't full addresses, they were just streets that were listed in Spire that we pay for, but there was no like monthly consumption rate. It's in CCF measurements, but not that that's important. There was just like a fixed rate every month, and I talked to finance and they didn't off the top of their head know what this was. So I had to do a little digging, and as it turns out there's just one neighborhood in particular that has gas street lamps still.
Gas
What-
street
We
lights?
still do.
Webster
There's a
Gardens.
project.
Oh.
Wow.
So,
Huh.
yeah, and it's just, there's some on Holly, Turf. Anyway, so in our Spire bills, there was, a line item for Turf, Holly, and Worthing Drive every month. But anyway, so just the things I'm uncovering. It's pretty exciting.
Costs compared to
Yeah.
like an LED, talking about your cost
Yeah.
savings.
I know. Yeah, so it's good to know. I mean, it would have, if there was any changes to be made there, we would probably need, residents
Right.
buy-in and talk to the community, the neighborhood there. But anyway, it was very interesting just to uncover something like that,
Yeah.
but,
Can
so,
I interrupt you?
Yeah.
If the city's paying for it, it's the city's decision, right?
I'm not sure. We haven't gone so far, it came up with Eric and he said, well, we'd probably want resident buy-in before making that decision. So I think originally that neighborhood and those gas street lamps were grandfathered in to the agreement when Webster Groves took over for that area. So, yeah, I'm not sure the rules yet. We haven't gotten that far. I just kind of uncovered this little mystery.
They're pretty attached to them. There's a crew that goes around and maintains them. It's
Really?
maintained by the residents, not by
They're
the
on
city.
little islands in the neighborhood, yeah,
I
but
think it's so unanimous LED, right? So.
Don't mess with people's gas lamps, John.
most people may,
Used to have it.
Attached to-
oh, really?
Mhm, that's what The run said.
Oh,
got rid of them.
yeah.
Wait, say that again, sorry?
They used to be all throughout all the neighborhoods.
Yeah, I mean, like, we used to have coal burning. They had coal in my house, but it's not like.
Yeah.
If I really was attached to it, I still couldn't pollute the neighborhood and make my neighbors breathe soot that they won't breathe.
Yeah,
And natural gas is a bad greenhouse gas,
yeah,
all up and down the production system.
And we're putting a ceiling fan in our house, which is like 1904, and notice there's still the infrastructure. You could tell where they had the old oil lamps.
Mhm.
It's interesting.
so I just discovered what these are, but we haven't finished. And since there's no monthly volume or measurements provided, it's just like a fixed fee that Webster pays. I haven't quite figured out like how much emissions might be tied to this.
Mhm.
But that would certainly help, provide data and some decision, information.
You said, follow-up. If I wanted to put a gas lamp in front of my house today, could I do it?
Mhm.
On my own without the city
I-
saying yes?
I don't know, that would be better posed to planning and development. I have no
I mean,
idea.
it's an organizing question. I'm saying that if everybody in the city can have a gas lamp, that's one thing, but if that's not the case, then there should be one system for everybody. That's. So I would think that might be helpful in its background. And I gotta believe, I gotta believe the city would say, no, you just can't dig up the street and run a gas line just because you like the ambiance of gas. Which
Yeah,
that just seems unlikely. So
yeah.
it seems to me like the idea of everybody's playing by the same rules.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll see how it flushes out. This, it could end up being an action we take after finishing this. This is our benchmarking effort,
Mhm.
so this could be something that we decide to change but I'm just giving you a tidbit of something that I've
That's
learned.
interesting.
Yeah,
very.
it has been interesting. I also received some data from BNSF Railroad, so that was great. Union Pacific has yet to send me anything, but still working on them. I've also been helping the Green Space Advisory Committee with a few things, so they're getting ready. We're gonna be promoting their Green Our Cities initiative. The deadline, so that's the plan where volunteers, residents who would like a tree planted in the public right of way, but in front of your house. They can sign up to be a tree steward where you volunteer to help maintain the tree the first 2 years while the roots are still developing. The program actually was just awarded by the International Society of Arboriculture. It was awarded the 2024 International Gold Leaf Award.
Ooh.
So that was fun for the Green Space Committee. That's great to hear. But anyway, their spring, the deadline for applications is May 15th. So just passing that along. And we'll be promoting some of that information.
May 13th.
May 15th is the deadline
Okay.
for this next round of tree plantings. And then also, as I'm sure you guys know, but it is no mow April season, which is exciting. And this year, so I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but the no mow initiative, Webster Groves really pioneered last year. It was the first municipality in the region to do that. And it had a lot of good publicity, especially from Jean Ponzi with the Missouri Botanical Garden. And she did a few different articles on it and promoted it on the Gardens blog. She also leads the St. Louis Business and St. Louis Green Cities Challenge. And she plugged the NOMO, Webster's NOMO program a lot, and 2 other municipalities are following Webster's lead. Brentwood and Maplewood are doing their first.
Okay.
Low mow or no mow.
Yeah, there you go.
Brentwood is doing low mow. Maplewood's doing no mow, but so
Very cool.
but that was great.
Mhm.
Good for Green Space and Webster to be advocating helpful actions for our early season pollinators.
Ooh.
And
Sean?
that's, yes, Amna.
Sorry. Hello. Sorry, I joined late. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Sean, do you still have any of those yard signs available?
Yes, they are at the recreation center for $7 a piece, I believe.
Awesome. Thank you.
The only other thing I was just gonna plug is that the Earth Day Fest, I know we've got green bags distribution happening on Saturday. I'll be at the Earth Day Festival Friday for setup through Sunday. Down at Forest Park. It's on the Muni grounds. It's 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. both days. And it's just a wonderful festival if you've never been. So just a friendly
This
plug for that.
whole weekend.
This whole weekend. Friday is just setup. but Saturday and Sunday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's actually one of the largest Earth Day festivals in the country and one of the oldest. So
Oh.
St. Louis, yeah. So. And that,
Full of all kinds of tidbits.
Yeah.
that is, it's April. It's a fun month.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I would also do a friendly plug for this Wednesday, but Karen, you might talk about that, the Eco-Ed, the Arbor Day.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
I can do that.
No, go for it.
Well,
That's
we have
all
it
for me.
Your Eco Ed, so we'll. All right, well, thanks for that update, and we'll move on to old business. And Karen, can you give us a little recap on the Healthy Living Expo?
Yeah, it was actually great. It was a good thing that, it's a good thing, and I will suggest that we do it again next year.
Okay,
Gave away about 80 bags over the course of
Wow.
a few hours and the papers that went with them. People were really interested. I had the Eco Ed series, I had the Arbor Day, I had the greens, the sidewalk program brochures from Carrie, and I had, something else too. And people were picking stuff up. They were asking questions. It was a great outreach opportunity
oh, great,
for us to
Great,
go
thanks for
and
doing
let
that.
people know who we are and what we're doing. So that was good.
And that's traditionally held at the Webster Rec Center.
Mhm.
Nice,
They've been doing it for, I think, 20 years or something. Yeah,
wonderful.
and thanks, Hannah, for coming in.
It was a good time.
and if you want, just transition to Eco Ed.
Sure. This Wednesday, Eco Ed is, the tail end of the city's Arbor Day celebration. So the tree planting is at 3. There's a, ceremony, award ceremony at 5. And I guess whoever's got the biggest tree or whatever the awards.
Tree of distinction.
Tree of distinction. Yeah, that'll be at 5, and then at 5:30, Dave Guns, an arborist, will be leading atop the Larson Park. So that.
I think it's Southwest Park. Isn't it Southwest Park?
No, Larson Park is this Wednesday, Southwest Park. I think. Where's the tree planting? Where's Arbor Day? Isn't that at
Oh.
Larson?
I thought this Wednesday was at Southwest Park.
Is it?
I'm almost certain.
Okay. then
But
maybe
after
I've
this
got
meeting,
it.
I can double check and I'll send an email out.
I have it backwards. I may have it backwards.
This is for.
I think the
Arbor Day.
watershed talk was like.
In
Wow.
Larson Park.
What day is that
Watershed
Larson Park
is-
thing with Dave?
The watershed talk is Larson Park? Or the
Yeah, that
Arbor
makes
Day?
it. Larson Park
is
for
the
the,
water.
for the watershed.
Is it about the?
Yes, it's got the creek going through it. It's got
Okay,
Shady Creek.
Okay. So then it's Southwest Park for the Arbor Day.
We have 20 parks, so if you can't remember. You get a pass. Over 20.
Yes, it is. Here we go. I've got it.
Oh,
up
there
on
you
my-
go.
April 17th, Southwest Park.
Okay.
3 p.m. is the tree planting, 5 p.m. is the ceremony and awards, and then 5:30 p.m. is the guided tree walk.
Cute. So we promoted that also yesterday and a lot of people were interested. Hopefully a lot of people will show up.
Great, thank you for that. Earth Day bag distribution, so. I sent out the email Friday, but I guess Anna can't make it Saturday morning to Straub's. So right now, we only have one person for Straub's, which would be me and Andrea at Freddy's. So we're looking for one more volunteer for each of those time shifts, if anyone can make it.
Jeff, I'll do Freddy's 1 to 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great, we'll do that for sure. And if we can find one more for Straub's, we'll do that one.
What are the days again? Which?
This is
Coming
Saturday the
weekend?
20th, right?
And then how do we get bags and?
So I think we talked about bringing our own table and chairs, right, Amna?
Okay,
Yeah, right.
Okay, I mean, I have a card table, Yeah.
We have got bags in my car. to go to.
Okay. I've got another box of bags. So whoever, maybe Andrea, you want to take that box?
I sure can.
And because you know, these things are, these boxes, if they get passed around, they get more unwieldy.
I transferred them to
Okay.
uh,
Okay, great,
They need a strap.
great. Well, I'll just leave that invitation open until, I don't know, Amna, do we need to check in with Straub's and Freddy's prior to
I
Saturday?
think I'll call, yeah, I'll call them just as a like reminder. Like,
Okay,
hello, we're coming in Saturday. But Strubs, I noticed in your email you wrote 11 to 12. Is that what we're going with?
yeah, I
for
think that's
Strubs?
what we had talked about, just doing
Okay.
an hour.
Yeah, they were flexible, so okay,
Okay.
that sounds good.
But I mean, I could, you know, if someone's available to do 10:30 to 11:30 or whatever, I can be flexible. I'm pretty much booked afternoon, so. um,
I'm supposed to be out of town, but if that changes,
Yeah, let me know if it changes, and we'll just, you know, if no one steps up by Thursday, we can just maybe just do Freddy's. I don't know. It'd be great to have a couple people.
Well, I can
each.
go to something. I'll go to something.
You can
Okay.
do it with one person, trust me.
Just let me.
Yeah.
I did the table
Where you
meeting
need me to
yesterday,
go.
for 4 hours with one.
I'll just. Keep an eye on the email and I'll
Okay.
chime in when.
Sounds good.
When I'm ready to, when you guys need something. I'm assuming you'll send another update.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably no later than Wednesday,
Okay.
midday or something like
Okay.
that, so we can get all
If you
set.
want to sign me, that's fine.
Okay. Sounds great. And so, I've got a card table at, you know, if I use that for Straub's, I can drop it off, or if you want, if you have.
We have a table.
Okay, great, all right. So, we'll just go with that
Perfect.
and just do an hour, see how many bags we can give
Yeah.
away and talk up sustainability and
Yep.
eco ed and all the stuff we've got going on.
My daughter's excited. So
Okay,
tell your
great.
friends. Tell your friends.
So
We'll
if
see
you want
you.
to have a table, there are still flyers for Eco Ed and
Okay.
they're, I have the big box, who's going to be on Saturday? Is that you?
I'll be at Straub's.
I'll be at
Okay.
Freddy's.
Because I have that big box of the literature that goes with the bags.
Okay.
also. It's gonna be
Oh, great.
Okay.
I'll need to
So-
get a little, some of that. then.
Yeah,
Okay,
Was that just in one of the boxes, Karen? With
that would, no, Elizabeth had,
yeah, Elizabeth. had
Oh.
one.
and there's probably 1,000. Well,
Oh, good.
pieces of paper in there. I don't think we gave any out with any of the other bags.
I think maybe we did initially. Yeah, that's good to.
Cool.
Good to do.
It's a
Okay.
fun little quiz.
It is.
Did that in your spare time.
Okay, Webster on Wheels, do you know if Paul has joined? He sent me,
Sent an email.
yeah, he sent an email saying he's going to be late, but I don't know if he's, I guess
Not
he's not
yet.
in the. We'll just push that down in case he's able to join us. We'll go back to Councilmember Bliss. Do you have anything to update us on?
Well, thank you to the commission for the letter, goes in the paper. And it was exciting that we got, that Prop W was passed, so it was important that we, you know, you made yourselves known. And I think you can continue to do that. We're gonna be starting a community engagement on Destination WG in the coming weeks, pretty soon, quickly. And budget, we're getting started on budget meetings end of this month.
Are those open to the public?
Yeah,
Okay,
budget, they'll all be in a work session and the council meeting, it's
Okay.
kind of both.
okay.
And that seems it. I've had kind of a
Okay.
2-week break and I'm a little. But the election was exciting.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
we got
everything
it.
went through, yeah.
Could I ask a follow-up question?
Sure thing.
So is there a role we should be playing as a sustainability commission to, in that budgeting process, to make sure that solar panels and energy efficiency, et cetera, is sort of.
So Sean, our staff typically works with budgeting. I do it as well. So I know that those monies are still there and available that we have earmarked.
Do you mean for
For the bus.
destination WG or
No,
in general?
Or,
Prop W, whatever. Prop
Yeah.
W.
Oh,
is.
okay, I'm sorry, I thought you meant regular budget. I think it's good for you, and, you know, people to attend the community engagement and speak up and, participate as much as possible. There will be surveys, there will be events. Both in person and probably online, so I would just say, you know, make sure you're represented.
And I know under new business, I know we have an annual report that I'll be working on.
Yes.
That is due, I think, May the 2nd or something like that. And then the presentation to council on the 15th, I believe is the date. We're gonna need somebody other than me to, I cannot make it that night. So unless we do it another night or someone can step up and volunteer to.
If you need somebody, I'm going to do
Okay.
it. I don't have to do it. Somebody else wants. to.
Okay.
But I'm, wait, what time, when does the board meet? What time?
I think you're doing it in work session, correct?
I
So
believe
it's
so.
6:30.
6:30, so it, the
on
work
the
session, it takes. Or less.
Well, it's during the work session and it just depends on how much we have on the agenda and how much discussion there is. So there's usually 1 or 2 agenda items, and that's it for now.
But the work sessions are at 6:30 and then council meetings follow at 7:30.
Right.
So the work session is no longer than 7:30 typically.
Sometimes it goes over, but I mean, this is gonna be, it'll be.
I think last year Jamie and I went to council and it was like 5-minute, just a 3-minute
Yeah.
overview, maybe a couple
Yes,
questions
yeah.
of what we're working on.
It's not gonna take long, you know, it's good to have visuals with data,
Like slides?
yes. Because.
Well, I can help, I can't
Yeah,
go to
no,
the
that's great.
Yeah.
meeting, but.
Yeah, I mean, you just talk, an update on the programs you've done, any information on that, like I said, data on it. What you've got prioritized for next year, which you kind of been talking about anyway. And to prep for this. So. Yeah, I mean, it would be good for a couple of you to come be there, you can also see the audience too, I mean, everyone can come.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right,
So-
I don't want to limit it to one person.
Right, right. But speaking to the mic and just teasing you.
I've never accused John of not being able to hear him speak. All right, let's see, I guess Paul, you might have gotten caught up.
Yeah, maybe.
So, a couple of things, before we talk about the next meeting date. So with Elizabeth gone, we'll need to have a new vice chair. So if you're interested in that, say something, email me, email whoever, let us know, because I know I'm here like after the next 12 months, then I turn out, so we've had turnover, so I don't know, I was asking Sean about, have you heard anything on the status of any new applicants? We have 7 right now.
I have not, but we can find out.
Okay,
Absolutely, yeah,
What is a full?
9, right?
that's 3 3-year terms, the full.
That's too short.
Oh, yeah, 9 members, yes.
Members,
9,
10
sorry,
to 9 is.
So we've got 7.
right,
We can have a,
right,
or we are,
correct,
9 is the full complement.
correct. So, yeah, when it comes to volunteering for things like getting bagged away and doing things, it's always helpful to have, because I know everyone's busy. So if you know
Anybody?
folks, yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of traditionally a good word of mouth referral and people, visitors who get interested and want to join us, so,
And if they've been on and they've rolled off, they can rejoin later.
Okay.
Just so you know, or you can switch to commissions as well.
Right.
So.
One other question, how long is a term of it? You-
3 years, I believe.
Is it 2, is it 3?
For members or chairs?
Cheers.
I mean, I believe it's still a 3-year term.
You can be sure.
No, but my membership on the commission is up in next April.
Oh, you're termed out of the
Yeah.
commission.
Right.
What are we gonna do?
Find someone to repeat it.
Usually someone applies to be the vice chair, not knowing that.
Yeah.
You're next to the
So.
No, seriously, it's,
Is it possible to stay longer than 3 years?
If you,
Can
I think
Jeff
it's-
stay on?
if you wants to. but
You can.
You just need to
Yeah,
make sure you're leaving space for other people.
Right, right.
right.
and it's, I think it's good to have new
Fresh.
people and ideas and
Yes.
energy and
Yeah,
Yeah,
so, because, I mean, we've gone through a big transformation during my tenure on this mission. So.
I have a quick question. Is
Yes,
there an age, is there an age requirement for joining a commission?
That's a good question. I'm not familiar with an age requirement, but I'm happy to look into it.
I was thinking of the student who had been joining us during some of the meetings. I
Oh,
think she's a high
Carson,
school student.
Carson
Yes.
Kunze.
As a high school student, they may be
Like,
heading to college.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's an age requirement. But I'll double check.
And again, the other thing I wanted to just throw out there, is now that we've kind of gone through the solar open house and we've got Eco Ed all planned out, thanks to you, and some of these other things, we need to think about, what some of our initiatives are going to be going forward. And we typically don't meet in July. And need to look at calendar real quick, because I'm probably going to be gone in June, which
I think.
is another good
At
reason to
one-
have a vice
Yeah.
chair.
Yes.
By next meeting.
So that's
Somebody
June
had
17th.
said, I think at one meeting though, that we're gonna take June and July, maybe not though, off. this
Usually
year.
it's
Just July, I thought.
July,
Yeah,
but.
I think it just depended on how many people were gonna be out of town.
I will definitely be gone in June.
And the third Monday of July, no.
Right.
Right.
That's good, I'm out of town.
Yeah, there's so many summer vacations usually
Mhm,
that time of year. It's.
mhm.
I'm not sure if this would apply, but I'm forming a stream team.
wow.
To clean up Deer Creek.
Oh, Deer Creek,
Uh-huh.
I saw 2 deer there. It's-
Did you?
Mhm.
Oh, giving it
That's bird watching. Yeah.
its name. Deer Creek.
Ding, 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 ding.
And this is a relatively new initiative on my part, so I haven't really started any planning for it to speak of yet, but I'll definitely be needing to get the word out and recruit a lot of volunteers. I selected what I now realize is a fairly large area, so I think we'll need definitely more than 50 people.
Oh, so Deer Creek, the whole Deer Creek, not just Deer Creek.
Well, not the whole Deer Creek, but the section from Brentwood to Hanley. Is what I designated as,
Okay.
So you're connected in with Greenkeepers, right?
this is through Missouri Stream Team and Deer Creek Watershed Alliance.
So the city's Greenkeepers
Ah.
team through, Yvonne.
Oh, I know.
Steinbruer, and
Is she the director of public works?
she is.
She's
part-
the
part-
super-
part-
Yes.
Right, there, she has a very robust database of people who go out to do
Oh.
bicycle hacks and.
Green
She
team,
was there, she was the one with the ponytail by the chipper on the weekend.
Yes, I met her. Yeah, okay.
But we, Karen brings up a good point that she has a whole distribution list of people that receive the Green Keepers email
Mhm.
newsletter.
Okay.
So we can promote the Clean Stream effort in that and try and get some residents through that.
Okay.
And you
that's-
post the dates, so you can go on and see what's happening. So
Okay,
you know. Project it out a little bit and book those.
okay.
Finally, there'll be somebody to pull that shopping
Shopping
cart
cart.
that's at the bottom of the.
Oh, yeah.
creek
Oh
for the
my
last
gosh,
few
yes.
years.
Oh,
I look at it and
uh-uh.
go, damn.
Well, who's gonna do that?
I don't know.
Anna's gonna do it.
Safely with a truck and a winch.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm gonna put that on my target list.
That's funny.
Thank you for the information about Green Keepers, and I'll definitely follow up on that and,
I can help
keep you
you with
guys
that too.
posted.
Just send me some information. I can make sure it gets plugged into the list of volunteer options. Do you have a date yet?
No, not yet, because typically it takes 17 weeks to plan, is what I found out.
Okay.
So, when I'm ready to really,
Yeah.
fully commit to planning it, 17 weeks from then,
Okay.
that will be the date.
Okay.
Who was the group that put the buoy up across the creek?
Should say that.
I forget what the,
River Keepers.
okay.
Was that
Yeah,
down
I'm not
close
sure
to
they're gonna be
Hanley?
robust.
Yes.
Okay,
The purpose of that was, but. Other than it did filter out a lot of garbage, at least if you wanted to go down and collect it.
Well, then the flood came and blew the
Right.
whole thing out, along with all the garbage.
Well, I was down there, last week I was running on the trail and after the big rain, all the rain we had, I mean, the amount of tree limbs,
Yeah.
it just. Amazing. I don't know what it costs to clean that up every time we have a big storm.
Yeah, 'cause there's-
Or the paste maker, I guess. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
I was trying to bicycle over all those.
And I'm assuming this is Maplewood's cost. Because whenever it floods, floods the banks and the trail is coated in mud. And they have
Oh,
to
yeah.
bring a little bobcat or whatever to
Yeah.
clean it up. And how much money do we spend every time it rains to come clean that thing up? It's absurd, but sorry, I'm going on a tangent here. Anyway, I am interested in, I don't know if next meeting is the time to do that, but just sort of looking at our sustainability plan and just kind of brainstorming about kind of bigger things we want to tackle moving
So-
forward.
You are meeting with council though on May 15th.
Right,
And we're supposed to tell them what we want to do.
Right, of which, our priority now has been kind of finishing through some of the things. But we do need to look ahead, because when Jamie left, we had a lot of things, plates in the air spinning. But I do think we have things ongoing like greenhouse gas benchmarking. And trying to be active on Prop W and. But,
I- Hope and expect that GDA will pick back up
right,
after the
I mean,
Earth Day Festival and
And-
once they're back on their feet.
we'll continue.
Hopefully May.
Bag distribution and we have what's dropping this week. So we still have a few things going, but. I do think we need to look. Especially as we get forward, because things do slow down in the summer. Or big initiatives.
Kirsty, that implementation of Prop W is a huge opportunity.
Yeah,
I'm really loving the idea of solar canopies, the parking lot at the Rex. It's probably cheaper, more cost effective than putting it on the roof. And it keeps your car from getting hot. But it seems to me there's a lot of opportunities there to make sure that that capital expenditures don't sustain.
right. Actually, I think the roof is cheaper. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you don't have to build any.
And you don't have to get any power to it or. anything.
or
But
further.
You don't
there's so much, I
Proof.
bet that ice rink has got the electricity demand, the ice rink has got to be
Yes.
just absurd.
Incredible.
But to be able to power that, partially with solar, you'd think would be a great,
And the possibilities for other parks to have shade structure with solar on. That's been discussed. Not just the reckless. That's a good thing.
but on that topic, just because. We still have a couple minutes, I was hoping Paul might be able to join us, to talk about Webster on Wheels, but. One thing that has sort of always been on my list of things I'd like to see the city and maybe with the help of this commission tackle is gas leaf blowers
My neighbor.
and lawn mowers. I don't know, I mean, I got
Some
two
of my
of my
neighbors
neighbors,
who are going to, we need to put at the garage.
but as somebody who works out of their house during the day, I mean, last week, because everyone had, these crews out doing their yards and it was just nonstop. And if you look into the data on how, not just noise pollution alone, but if you look at the particulate matter that those gas leaf blowers put out, it is crazy how bad those things are for, and the contributions to asthma and respiratory disease. And I don't know that I know this would be a hard thing. Kind of controversial for people like to have their,
Their businesses.
bring their lawn crew in and have everything nice and tidy by the time they get home, but
My guy is all electric. In the
I was gonna
vehicle, he
say,
tows his.
Really? Okay.
lawnmower on, yeah,
Wow.
it's called Zero Lawn.
Zero.
Sir. Mhm.
Yeah, I think that would, and that's even on our website, like to try to get that changed over under our commissions.
Oh, the gas leak blower thing?
Yes.
Oh, man, yeah, that's, I'd love to be.
That
there's
would-
some interesting literature out there. If anyone knows, there's a writer who writes for the Atlantic magazine named James Fallows.
Oh, yeah.
He convinced Washington DC, I mean, he went on a campaign in District of Columbia and got them to pass a ordinance banning gas powered
Wow.
mowers. James Fallows.
Oh, yeah.
FAO.
Yeah. But I mean, the California Air Resource Board has done a study on just how dirty that makes the air, and it's stunning, just like one gas blower for an hour without the emissions of like a pickup truck driving 2,000.
Wow.
I mean, it's just blows your mind.
Yes.
You know what we should do is have a speaker, the
Mhm.
green speaker series. Talking about asthma and gas. leak blowers. That, so then we're getting multiple. That message out.
I don't know how other cities handled this, I mean, if you. Cities that pass an ordinance and now obviously they have to, how do you police it, right? Like people call out at their neighbors, hey, my neighbors, send the cops. But, I don't know, it's
There have to be a lot of communities who've done that now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A lot.
maybe not here, but,
Yeah. We wouldn't be on our own.
yeah, but anyway, just, sorry.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
seriously.
the zero.
It's all the
one.
time.
That would be a part of a good plan.
Mhm.
Say, there's alternatives,
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
there's like other technologies
He pulls up
besides
and
gas.
pulling his lawnmower on a trailer behind, I think it's a Prius.
Oh my gosh.
Everything's
that's awesome.
electric.
But it's, just the noise alone, I mean, for,
There's so much quieter.
Right.
Yeah, it's a big difference. I have a piece of sad news to report.
Mm.
Did you want to say something else about
I
that?
was just gonna say, the lawn that's catty corner from Avery School. They're wonderful people, but they cut their grass like it's their life's work. And that is right next to all those children, and children's lungs are more highly impacted by soot than adult lungs. Just as a one. No other reason.
Mhm.
That and all the, you're getting onto the people that sit there in the morning idling. Before school and.
We expand the jail from Prop W money. We put it-
Okay, I'm gonna get off my soapbox on this, but,
It's a good soapbox. So, the company, they were called GRNE and then they were Nelnet. They did the Grow Solar
Yeah.
last year. I got an email from them today that they're stopping their residential solar program because it's not economically improved. They didn't say politically exactly, but they said the environment is not conducive to doing residential solar right now. So that's,
In Missouri or just all around?
I just got a letter from them. He didn't say.
Well, I know the,
He
straight
said
up,
he wouldn't be able to go through with my proposal.
no, I know
Because
straight up was talking about, you know, the big thing that was hurting them was interest rates.
Mm.
Because it just made the projects more expensive, it lengthened the payback period, and people kind of like, I'm gonna wait.
Mhm.
So
it's
I'm guessing
probably
that's a big factor.
Yeah.
And it's also state policy, because Straight Up Solar does most of their installs in Illinois, right? Because for one thing, you've got community solar where you have a voting system. that- And they have a variety of different things in place where residential solar is more affordable in Illinois side because of state.
Yeah, I know he told me that they really shifted a lot of the resources from residential to commercial, also in community solar. Just because
First,
that's where the business is, right? So, all right, well,
Wait, no, sorry, why? What was that last part? They've switched, they've
they've
moved
moved
resources.
from residential to commercial and community solar just because they're not getting the residential business
Gotcha.
because of interest
Right.
rates, but also because there is policy in Illinois that's really fueling growth of that market.
Gotcha.
And if you do this program called REAP, R-E-A-P, Renewable
Yeah.
Energy for America program.
No, I do a different read.
It's a federal program, one of Biden's initiatives that funds clean energy, but it's gotta be rural counties, so that it's not gonna help us. But it's funded 233 projects in Missouri alone. So it's like solar panels, like the Chillicothe Ford dealer, who's got solar panels on the Ford dealership in Chillicothe because of this program.
Okay.
Doesn't pay the whole thing, but it pays a big chunk of it. And so anyway, that's federal policy, not state policy, but it's rural, it's not urban, but it's a great spot.
Right. All right, I still. I'll try to send Paul a note and send some things around, send something around via email, but. I don't think we have, unless anyone has anything else. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So.
Second?
Second.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, don't forget to stop
Yeah,
by my
pick the
car.
forms.
You have the bags in the car now.
I love it.
Thanks, Sandra.
Yeah, let's leave it in.